Hey guys, it's Dan, your host of your Dan's Reviews, and today I'm back with my weekly review for this week's episode of The Plague Season 3. This one is going to be for The Plague Season 3, Episode 5, which is called War. So, yes, I'm getting around to do it just before Fear the Walking Dead. It got released early enough so I can get everything ready for it and do my review for The Plague, of course, before Fear the Walking Dead tonight. So, really loved this episode of The Plague. This one was really just, I would say, another, really solid episode of The Plague. So, to, start off this review, I just want to say spoiler warning, because this just came out, so I'm kind of, the amount of people that probably have seen it at this point is probably, not as much as when I review it the next day, but, I wanted to review it early, do kind of a change. I can't do this every week, because sometimes the episode is not always released at, the time, so it's, sometimes it's difficult and that type of deal, and sometimes I don't always have the time, that type of deal, but tonight I have the time, just before Fear the Walking Dead comes out. So, this episode was pretty much a John episode, which I love John. He is, one of my favorite characters of The Plague. I'd probably rank him at either number 2 or number 3, I'm not sure, because I really like, some of those other characters, like, Garrett and, Corey from the first season. He was really cool. So it's hard to decide, but I think he would be my second favorite character of The Plague. He's really cool, and, he's very, a unique character. So, anyway, pretty much you start off the episode, he talks to Blake about leaving, in about 5 minutes to go to the, now this is really cool, because he actually goes back to the abandoned, military base that was in the very first episode, the pilot of The Plague, where Anthony and Corey were, and then they left. Of course, remember that. So, he goes there, and you pretty much see that it's, the walls are down. It's just, wrecked pretty much. And he says, he's like, dear God, So, then you get this guy who drives up, of course, and then he comes out. His name is Josh. So Josh. And pretty much they know each other. You get the idea. And so he tells him to, get out of the car or whatever. Is that you, John? And they apparently this guy, Josh, and his group are held up in like this prison. So it'd be cool if we actually get to see that location. I'd like to see the prison. That would be really cool. That'd be really cool to see a prison, especially in GTA 5. That'd be really cool. Hopefully we get to see the prison, but really, really cool stuff. So that's that, but pretty much you get, they make a deal, and then of course you have, they return to the community, and then you also have John at the end, who is giving a speech about Anthony, how they're going to get him back. They can finally fight the, the group, of course. They can finally fight these scrapyard people, Victor's group, of course, and, they're gonna manage, pretty much is the idea. They're gonna manage to pretty much beat them, and then you got John, so, that stuff right there I found awesome, especially me being a fan of John's character. I love this because, really, we know, that, in this episode, and, I really think that, we need, and, I'm liking this approach this season, that, you don't necessarily have to have Anthony there the entire time, because, he is your main character, yes, he is my favorite, but you're starting to kind of you're exploring other characters pretty much just as much as Anthony. This episode being a perfect example. You can make an episode work, without Anthony being there. It won't be the same, of course, because, of course we know he's going to be probably leaving pretty soon, but I'm really liking how we're kind of exploring, the other characters just as much as Anthony, so that's really cool. So, pretty much I would say this was, another amazing episode of The Plague. I just love this show, man. We got 3 more episodes left of Season 3, and then Season 3 will be done. So, or the first half of the season will be done, and then, we get the second half, of course, with the last 8 episodes. But, just to say, first 5 episodes, loving this season so far, and really interested to see this, Josh character and what's going to happen with him. And also, another thing I want to mention too, I really like how, they kind of, John gives this speech at the end, and you really see how, man, that would be interesting if John took over the group after Anthony died. I mean, we might get Derek who takes over. That's another one. I think that'd be cool if Derek took over maybe or something like that. But, John would be another one I feel like. That would be also really interesting. So, John, so really cool. Really like that a lot. So, really to say, to finish this review, I would say for this episode of The Plague, I mean, it was really entertaining. You had a lot of storylines going on with John and Josh, of course. Again, I want to see if maybe we'll see the prison that Josh is holding up at. So, cool new character, of course, with Josh coming in, and also liking Blake's character a lot, of course. He's another character I feel like that's, becoming a more, forefront character. He's getting more time this season than he did last season. Well, could I say that? Yes, no, pretty much the same, but, this episode he got quite a bit of time as well. So, next week, of course, episode 6, it looks like we're going to catch up with Anthony, and, from what I've read for the name and description, it looks like he's going to try to escape with Scott. So that's going to be really cool. So, yeah, now I want to hear from you what you thought of this episode of The Plague. My personal opinion, absolutely loved it. Now let's, start watching Fear the Walking Dead in, an hour? Probably around the time of posting this, in an hour, So I'm going to get this posted. Absolutely dug this episode of, The Plague. And I will, of course, catch you guys for the Fear review. And, of course, for the Plague fans, a episode 6 review next week. Catch you guys then, guys. Peace out.